Hello everyone, this is Jasmine, aka Gladiatorinsweats, and I'm here with not the daily tarot message. I've actually got that on Instagram, so do go ahead and check me out on Instagram or follow the link in the description box so you can go follow me or just check that out there. But this is mostly to discuss the new wave spell that begins today, the Yellow Warrior wave spell. Exactly. And so I just wanted to discuss this further, what it means for us collectively, what it means for us personally, and to really just talk about this energy that's going to be the focus, or it has been the focus, and it's really just taking up another level or a nuance to it. So not only that, but I am posting another set of videos to go with this. I pulled an oracle card for the elements to go along with this. So do stay tuned for oracles for the elements. I'm not sure if I'll do that today or if those will get uploaded tomorrow. I just have to go ahead and record those. So now that all of the updates have kind of been out of the way, I'll just get into it here. So this Yellow Warrior wave spell energy. So the three really key words or code themes here, the focus, if you will, it's questions, intelligence, and fearlessness. I actually posted this quote yesterday as a part of the daily tarot post on my Instagram, and I'll go ahead and restated here because it's really the focus, or really it really holds theme for this wave spell. So it says, fearless is not a reduction of fears, but rather the capacity to go beyond fear. Going beyond fear begins when we examine our fear. In the Shambhala tradition, discovering fearlessness comes from working with the softness of the human heart. And just for a brief understanding of what I feel from that is, as it says in the very first, sentence of fearlessness is not about, not having or experiencing fear. It's not about the removal or, this removal of fear. It's rather about being able to go past the fear, being able to see it and move through it. That's really what everything is about. We don't really spiritually bypass things. Really, the best way or the true way through anything is through it. And so through examining our fear, through essentially, if you want to put it as finding the loophole, finding the holes, finding the glitch within the fear, because then you're able to find the truths and you're able to widen the hole. So then you're able to kind of slip through the hole because you found you find the truth. You're able to find the truth and be able to move through that truth. Because fear is, it's a figment. It's an illusion. It's, it's created. And so it's through us being able to see through the creation, through us examining our fears, through us examining its validity, we're able to get through and really move through our fear to do what it is that we are feeling called to do, or what we're feeling we need to express. So just touching on this a little bit more, this will be about us accessing divine guidance, of us exercising a keen awareness of ourselves and of the way that we interact with the world and interact with our environment. It's providing us but really a chance to create a new analysis of our beliefs and of our convictions to make sure if we really resonate, or if those, if those truths really match up with what's really happening, what's really true for us. So just to kind of take an example to move this from such a theoretical point of view, when we feel hurt, for example, if someone hurts our feelings, or we're hurt specifically in a relationship, in any kind of a relationship, romantic, friendship, whatever, someone hurts our feelings. Some of the common, cycles or loops we can fall into is, no one cares about me, or everyone always hurts me. You can't trust people. Like, these are some of the loops that we can fall into because we've had these pains and because we get triggered. And so it triggers those old loops. It triggers those old convictions. So what we're really having the opportunity to do, or we always have the opportunity, but it's really, the focus, I feel, for the collective with this Yellow Warrior Wavespell of us getting to, again, really getting to look if that's really true. Does that hold true, or is that a story that we tell ourselves because we've been hurt so much, because we've, that's what we've been we conditioned ourselves, or it's our protective mechanisms so that we don't try and hurt ourselves, or so we can try and protect ourselves from further harm. All of these, what people may consider like root issues, but this goes all the way, these are really all the lower chakra issues if you work with the chakra system. This also has to do with our willpower, with our ability to make action and to strive after what it is we desire, having to deal with our victimhood, having to deal with not feeling capable, or feeling embarrassed for ourselves, or feeling powerless. But another part of this is, facing not what I would call, but uncharted territory, if you will. Things that we've, never really considered to bring to our awareness, or maybe just new perspectives that we never considered before because we weren't really in the state to, or we were very much attached to our conviction. Now, a lot of us are in a state of more malleability, and as we've been doing a lot of purging and a lot of detaching, a lot of us just really having to do this, shadow work. I feel that that's the common term that we use for it, where we're really having to embrace these challenges and really look at them with a new perspective, recognize them more as opportunities for growth in us building our emotional strength and our emotional maturity and understanding. So, as we've kind of been, not just, if you've been following my channel, if you've been, just on your spiritual path of some sort, of some nature, it's really about us applying, the things that we've been learning about and the things that we are often taught about, mindfulness, about presence, and about being in the present moment. So we're applying all of these theories, I guess, if you want to put it that way. We're applying all of the ideas. We're actually applying them to our experience of, not just being mindful, but being in our will, taking our power back by, not immediately falling into the loop. It's not even about punishing ourselves if we fall into the loop, but it's really about us working to stall the loop enough to where we can get it to stop. And if we can get it to stop enough to where we can, within that moment of getting it to stop, in that moment of presence, to be like, okay, is this really how I feel? Or is this really how the situation is really playing out? Or is that just the point of view that I'm taking in this moment? And I guess I'll just give like an example for myself that I've had recently, to be, I guess, transparent and just also to be relatable, because even as I'm talking about this, it's about us applying it. And I think, especially when we're in the moment and we're in the emotion and we're in the motion of the energy, it can be hard for us to, stop those cycles. And so, for example, if, I have a misunderstanding with someone, like, I think, like, they say something and they think that I heard them. I never heard them. And so, we can have an argument about, oh, well, you weren't listening. And I'm saying, well, I didn't hear you. That, we can get stuck in this moment of, they weren't listening to me, or even in my perspective of, this person doesn't communicate well, or, they're always starting problems, or we always have problems, or I'm always irritated because, when we get just attached to what happened, as opposed to trying to see, okay, let's take that eagle's eye viewpoint that I was talking about yesterday, in the Instagram post, rather, not really, I didn't post a video yesterday, so, or really just what we've been talking about even in this past week with this blue night energy of seeing the higher perspective, of allowing ourselves to not know everything, because, we know how we feel, and that's something that is valid, and I think that's really what a lot of this has been about lately, of us really getting to know what it is that we actually feel, because that's really an integral part before we can even really analyze what's the truth. We kind of have to accept and acknowledge what it is that we genuinely feel in that moment. So then from there, we can see, what is the truth? Why is it that we came from that perspective? Or, why is it that we've seen it from that perspective? We're able to further flesh out, the higher point. So, we're questioning all appearances. We're questioning all info. We're questioning all reference points so that we can try and get a deeper understanding and, some deeper insight to everything. So, just taking something as basic as, let's just say you have, like a supreme issue, I guess, with driving with other people on the road. And it seems as if they're always driving carelessly and you're the one who's driving perfectly. You can even take that, example, or because I guess I say that example because it's an example that comes up a lot for me. Well, when I am driving, but also when I'm riding with others, is it helps sometimes to recognize that we don't always know what's going on outside of our own little universe. Other people that we're interacting with, they're going through their own things and, they're making their moves. And sometimes it's not even that they're out of flow. Sometimes it can be, we can look around and realize, oh, wait, maybe it's me that's out of flow. Maybe it's me. It's when you change your vantage point, you're able to see, you're able to see the different perspectives. Even when you think about just historically how, we've used to believe, okay, everything revolves around the earth, I believe. Let's just say that was, if that wasn't. But, everything revolves around us. And that, even the sun, everything revolves around us. And then there's another perspective that we've taken on that actually the sun is the center. And so actually the planets in the solar system actually goes around the sun, as the sun is the central star. Then there's another perspective of, well, you can look at it galaxy-wise and be like, well, the Milky Way is just this galaxy actually in this central part of whatever universe. You could take it bigger, smaller, however. It's all about seeing the flow within the flow, which is what I've been talking about a lot, about us finding our own rhythm within the universal rhythm, and within the rhythm within our families, and within, our other social circles, or just whatever circles that we actively participate in. So all of that to say, questioning and confronting our fears. All of this is, we have to actually face them, we have to confront them, and then we actually have to be willing to question them and say, is that true? And really, examining it so that we're able to release their hold on them. We're able to transcend them by confronting them. And so through applying, a focus and a determination towards our goals and towards what it is that we want, while also, remaining, not weighted by the expectations of things, and not remaining, because that's what really keeps us from going after anything. When we think about our goals, or we think about our dreams, and we, even think about our considerably, quote unquote, lofty aspirations, the only things that ever keep us from it ultimately is about the fear of not doing it right, the fear of not being able to complete it, the fear of not getting to execute it the way you see it in your mind. It's all about our expectation of how it's supposed to look like, and our fear of not being able to, be adequate and to be able to amount to it. But, it's, as I guess we've also been talking about this in this past recent week, of our imagination and consciously dreaming. So we incorporate this understanding and belief of our imagination, and knowing if we can see it in our mind's eye, and we can mentally create the landscape, create the blueprint, create the emotions that we feel when we're, succeeding, or when we're achieving this supposed aspirational goal. When we're able to create what it would possibly look like physically, what it might, taste like, if, we might have some sort of taste or sensations of smell that are involved in this experience. We're able to flesh it out, or even just feel it, or even just have that know, or even honestly the solid desire. When we're able to examine the solid desire, the root of it, and knowing that desire is valid, that desire, and knowing that is already so, is something we can hold true to, knowing the same way with a flower's seed. You know that a plant is going to come from it. You cannot visually see the flower and what's going to come from that seed, but it's knowing and trusting that that's what's going to come from it. And, even when those of us that have children, or those of us that, just love children, have children in our lives around us, and, when we look at them, we just see the potential, not in a sense of, like their quote unquote success, but you see the flourishing within them, like their creativity or in their character. You start to see the little glimpses. And it's sort of the same way, with our own creative babies, with our own, mental, imaginative babies. Those are the same way. We can be pregnant with our ideas and our dreams. So, yeah, I'm pretty much almost done. I really just wanted to get into the day one of this. I went over this a little bit with a private group on Facebook as we went through the Wavespell cycle. And so I'm really wanting to bring this more to YouTube and kind of involve it more on my social media, so others can kind of participate with this as a journaling exercise, or even just as a mental exercise as you listen to the video or just follow along. So with day one, or just with the tone, the magnetic tone, as today's galactic signature is the yellow magnetic warrior. This is all about the purpose and the goal. What is our purpose and goal in this wave spell? To just try and make things very practical at this point. What is our purpose? What is the goal? What is it that we are here to experience within these, 13 days? So the card that I did pull was a harmonic resonance, the number 8 card, which definitely makes sense to me. I definitely understood. I pulled the strength card twice yesterday for the the daily tarot post on Instagram, and then I also pulled it today as a bottom of the deck for the collective message again. So there's not only this heavy Leo energy, this heavy like solar energy that's coming through, but it's about the number 8, about infinity, about harmonic resonance, and about coming back to one, coming back to source. There's many different names for it, of unity consciousness, path to the one heart. There's many different ways we can frame it and name it, but it's really of coming back to that understanding of everything as above, so below, and so below as above. Understanding that interweaving of everything being divinely connected in, out, all the ways. And not just about that, but when you look at the strength card, and I've pulled the strength card many a time, like I said, and it's this lion energy, this feline energy of empowerment. And so getting to the root of the number, especially in regards with like the way the Mayan astrology and the way that the units are counted. This is about the foundation of self, which is the number 5, combined with the current of Trinity or Christ consciousness, or, like I said, there's many different names for these energies. And so essentially that's what this is about, of us combining our foundational self, combining our solid like conduit, if you will, with Christ consciousness and this integration that's been going on, even that I've been talking about, as well as others, if you tune into other people's videos. But we're about making love visible, which I'll be talking about even more as we get into not just this wave spell, but we're moving into, I don't want to confuse too many people, but we're moving into a new castle within the 13 moon calendar, where there's just a lot of different shifts that are going on about us moving into love, us moving into more of the magic, and of us moving into the actual, what people will call 5D, of us embracing the 4D nature of life, of synchronicity, of moving into, the divine rhythm. And so we're creating the flow of harmony in our life, being aware of where we're drawn, being aware of, what are we inviting in our life through the law of resonance. So, when we're able to see how we're in harmony and as well as not in harmony with others, and we're able to, find our flow within the flow, see where our flow doesn't work within, certain flows. It's, really about us finding our flow of harmony. And it's not about saying anyone's flow or that any other current is right or wrong. It's really focusing on ourselves, focusing on what is right for us, what feels good for us. Where does our heart lead us? And being receptive to our feelings and being receptive to this divine guidance that we receive from our higher self, from, the universe, from those that are here supporting us. So, through us using our bodies, as I've been saying, using our bodies as a tool, using it as the conduit, the conduit and the meeting ground that it is, between the physical and the non-physical, and finding a deeper harmony and a deeper understanding to the more mundane or practical things happening in our lives, of us being able to see the connections to the things that we experience and seeing how it reflects back to, not necessarily just back on us, but, so we're able to see not necessarily what does it say about us, but what does it say about our experience? What does it say about what it is we're bringing in? What does it say about the story that I'm telling? What does it say about the story that I am crafting for myself? So that you're able to change the story, because it's not about the story not being, unchangeable. It's about you recognizing that it is a story, recognizing that it can be changed. It's that it has to be written, that someone has to actually create the stories. The thought has to be sent out to pick it up. So, just really freeing ourselves from just focusing and being stuck on our story and seeing the bigger picture, resonating at a higher octave of our being. So, I think that's pretty much it that I really wanted to do here. Or I lied. There's one more thing. There's a passage I actually wanted to read from the Mayan Oracle. I believe I've been sharing this a little bit, and I've even been posting pictures and sharing it in my readings a little bit. But I just wanted to share the passage about this card and about what it really means about this, not just this Wavespell, but what it means about us coming into this energy of us being fearless, of us not necessarily not having fear, but us transcending our fears, of us moving through our fears. So the bottom of the deck card that I did pull when I did pull the harmonic resonance card was Ish. And so I wanted to go ahead and read the small passage for this card. This card, the symbols that are resonant with it are the jaguar, the peacock, and the all-seeing eye. All of these having to do with like these third eye sort of intuitive feelings, magical, being in alignment with our divine will. So yeah, let me go ahead and read this. All right, so Jaguar Seer, show me the larger vision. In alignment with the will of the divine, I call on you, my integrity to refine. Ish indicates that magic is afoot. You have drawn the light magician, the Jaguar Seer. Expand your vision to include the excitement of more magic in your life. Ish offers you initiation, challenges you to pick up your wisdom wand and embrace the beneficial use of will. Through your presence and simple beingness, magic's dimensional doorway opens. Magic is a type of perception. Magic dances only in the present tense. Magic requires reverent attention. Are you silent enough to receive it? Magic requires open, flexible awareness to show its mysterious face. Thus, if you're trying to be in control of your ego, you will probably not perceive what is magical around you. Simplify, stop thinking, and enter into direct perception of what is. Magic will have no choice but to dance with you. Ish reminds you to align your will with that of the divine and to look inside, not outside, for answers that you may seek. Through the lens of integrity, examining your motivations and your actions. Through the lens of heart knowing, guide, direct, and align your intentions. Think with your heart. Act as a torchbearer for the light. Allow yourself to be danced in divine innocence as a channel for the most expanded magic. Step into self-empowerment. When you align with what gives you joy, expressing your beauty and power, your energy naturally expands to include more of who you are. Nothing and no one outside yourself can give you real power. Empower yourself by directly addressing the situation at hand. Act with integrity, and magical outcomes will naturally blossom. So the shadow of Ish is seen in issues involving integrity, control, personal power, and will. Examine your focus and the use of your mental power. How are these issues playing out in your life right now? Speak your truth and act with integrity. Be honest and true to yourself. Own and address your shadow with self and others. Are you giving away power by looking for approval outside of yourself? Step into the light of real magicianship that is found in the integrity of heart knowing. Use your personal will in concert with your heart. Establish a clear connection with your essence self, who is a light magician already. So in the shadow of the magician's cape, you may find feelings of competition or the need for approval, recognition, or status. These feelings often indicate the ego and the mind's need for power and control. The real magician's cape is transparent to the will of the divine. So release your need for approval and control. Feel your intrinsic worth as a window for the light to shine through. Open to the possibility of magic and miracles in your life. So, yeah, I actually didn't intend to read the shadow part, but I felt like that was definitely important just because, like I said, this strength card has been coming up and us having to deal with the shadow part of us not just being, in our heart space and, tapping into our courage and speaking our truth, but also, recognizing that we don't need the validity from other people. It's coming from within of us, accepting ourselves. And, this is something, like I said, that we're all going through. And I can definitely resonate with this wholeheartedly, of us needing to be true and honest to ourselves in all ways. And even when we're in the space of comparison, of feeling, you know, that we need someone's approval, we need someone to, you know, kind of certify us or give us, you know, a stamp of, yeah, you actually, yeah, I see your work. And it's not about not wanting or desiring that. There's, excuse me, I feel very natural for us, excuse me, once more, for us to, you know, want to have our stories seen and for us to share. It's something that, you know, pushes us to share our stories. And it's not something that's good or bad. It's something that we can use, again, as a gift to see, okay, I really want to be able to share how I feel, or I feel some sort of fear about this. Maybe confront that. Why is it that you feel fearful about addressing this or saying that? And consider, is that a real fear? Is that a valid reason to not want to say something? Because it's not about there not ever being a reason to not saying something. The heart of all of this is about integrity. So it's not about you even saying the right or wrong thing. It's about coming from your heart space, coming from you being in your integrity, what you're honestly, genuinely saying and feeling in that moment. Not about, you know, trying to say what is supposed to be right or wrong, or any of that. Speaking what it is true for us. Because part of it is for us to see, hey, actually, that isn't my truth. Part of it is for us to actually be consciously aware of, you know, what we're speaking maybe is not true. So, yeah, I think we're actually finally complete, or I don't even want to say finally. I actually really enjoyed doing this, and so I hope you guys have been enjoying this as well. So, yeah, that's really it. This Wavespell, I definitely, not just this one, but the energy we're just moving into, as we're moving into September, we're moving into a whole nother month in the 13 moon calendar too. So I'll be talking about this more as we get into it, I believe tomorrow, because tomorrow is actually the beginning of this new moon. New moon, in the 13 calendar, the moons are called months. So that's what I refer to when I'm saying that. But regardless, I'll be putting out some more content in context with all of this. And yeah, I did want to actually give a quick update about the video upload schedule. I've been doing the daily readings, and I actually really enjoy doing them. Obviously I do, but I'm really wanting to make sure that I have time to do the other things that I want to do, not just for the channel, but, you know, for myself, for my family, all of that. So I've been really trying to figure out how I can continue to do the daily content that I enjoy, where it doesn't take so much time, because, it takes time to have to get the space quiet, to, make sure my devices are charged, to go ahead and create the video, which is not even really work. It's just tedious, and it just takes time. So I'm wanting to move, like I was trying to before, the daily content to Instagram, and I feel like I'm finding a better way of how I would prefer to go about doing that. And I will go and do 4-day videos, so you can expect maybe 2 to 3 videos a week, as opposed to 7 or 8. So I think that's not just easier on me, but it also makes it to where I don't feel like my information is so redundant when I'm doing the daily readings, where I feel a lot of it, just overlaps from day to day. So the 4-day recordings, or really me going over the next 4 days, is about the 4-day harmonics, and I'll talk about that more when I post the first video, either tomorrow or the next day. But I think that'll actually be a better way, as we kind of follow the way that the energy is flowing in these 4-day harmonic intervals. So we'll talk more about that, like I said, when I post the video. But all that to say, expect the videos to go down, quite significantly, to maybe 2 or 3, possibly even 4, depending on, how I'm feeling, what's going on. I just really want to make it to where I feel more flexible, and I feel I'm more able to creatively express myself and I'm not so tied down to a schedule. I need the balance of some sort of routine, but I don't need it to be so locked down, because I feel like as soon as I upload the daily video, I need to work on the next video, or I have to keep in mind I need to work on the next one, and it's just too much. So yeah, I just want to do it this way because, yeah, I have kids and stuff. So if I didn't have, other prior things, then it probably would be much more reasonable. But yeah, so to boil it down, do expect, content. Definitely still going to have content every day on Instagram. So if you're already following me there, then, you're already going to be seeing it. And, stay tuned for my IG stories, which is usually where I post like updates with the YouTube account anyway. So yeah, this is a little bit long. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful Wednesday. I'm already having a great Wednesday. So, I send you guys all my love and hope you guys are receiving this great energy too. And check out the information in the description box. Like I said earlier, links are there to find my Instagram as well as my website for info on readings and whatnot. I'm working on the site as well as pricing, so feel free to book a reading if you feel so called. But I am working on pricing and whatnot, so I have adjusted it to more reflect what I feel is valid and what I feel it's worth, as a in reflection to how much time and energy I put into the readings. But yeah, so without further ado, I send you guys my love and I wish you many blessings. So until tomorrow, I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday.